All right, guys, welcome everyone to another Valhalla AMA where the community can ask the team any questions they like. Well, not any. Let's keep it somewhat Valhalla related, okay? But we tweeted this AMA out yesterday and everyone had an opportunity to submit their questions, which I have noted. And if you didn't send in any questions but would still like to ask, write it down in the Twitch chat, and if there is time left at the end of the AMA, we can discuss those. Also, guys, we'll be giving a Floki guitar to a random live follower of the stream, which we will pick at the end of the AMA. So don't go anywhere, and maybe if you stay till the end of the AMA, we can also show you a very exciting leak. So with that being said, guys, I would like to introduce the lead of the Valhalla team, Mr. Brown, also goes by the name of Mr. Brown Will. How is Mr. Brown doing today?
Hey, not a whale and the rest of the community doing great. Busy times. Just came in. Wife made something special, a special Dutch delicacy for me to bite on, and on to the AMA it is. So yeah, a lot of things happening. Very busy and excited. So yeah, let's get this going. How are you doing, by the way? Not a whale.
That's awesome to hear. Yeah, I'm doing good too. I'm doing good too. Exciting times. But as you said, let's get started because we have so many questions. The first question, of course, from Ron, and this is an interesting one. When can the community start testing play to earn mechanics?
Play to earn. Well, I think we will start discovering play to earn mechanics. I think we go into onto mainnet. I think that is the last stage. Obviously, it's one of the most important things to get right, but we cannot just put in play to earn mechanics with every single other piece of the puzzle not included. So let me put it this way. If we start, because we do have an idea, we do have a few things lined up, but if we start throwing them in right now and we keep adding really important big pieces of the puzzle, it might break it all together, and we will not be able to see how our play to earn philosophy works as a whole. So it's a whole lot of blabber that I'm doing right now because I cannot leak too much. But I do want to say that, long story short, play to earn will be one of the last things on the list.
Yeah, got it. Makes sense as well, completely. Maybe I should have started with the second question from Ron because that one was a little bit lighter. But he's asking, what kind of weapons can we expect in the game? And can they be used in all parts of the game or just certain sections?
That's a good question. Well, I think a lot of people already saw an X, right? And I think there will be a few of that kind of weapons. I think Ron is trying to get a leak as to, hey, will we be able to slay NPCs, as somebody else asked about it. But there will be weapons, and they will not be able to be utilized in every part of the game. The way we see it right now, and I think there's definitely going to be another question regarding that. The way we see it right now is that the Vikings don't fight themselves because that's why they came to Valhalla, right? Or not that's why they came to Valhalla, but it's they died or passed away in their normal, let's say, world/life, and they came to Valhalla. And it wouldn't make sense for players or people to be able to die within Valhalla, because where will they go? Valhalla the second realm, Valhalla the third realm, but perhaps when we start using DLCs we can do that. But for now, let's just say they operate on the non-violence versus other players rule, and we will be able to explore other ways to inflict harm upon one another, but right now it's just the Vera that are fighting. Just to keep it also a bit more simple and a bit more logical as to what Valhalla is and why people are there.
Awesome. Looking forward to that. As Art is summarizing in the Twitch chat, there will be weapons and they won't be able to be utilized in every part of the game. And everybody likes to guess a little bit here and there and some mysteriousness, so we'll look
Yeah.
forward.
So a bit of extra information then is that. Oh well, that's something you can speculate on, to be honest. Because if you can't use the weapons to inflict harm on each other, what would you use the weapon for? That's up to you guys.
Oh, well, when you tell that, and what comes into mind first for me is, and that is probably because of my past in RuneScape, is that you can have an axe, but you can also mine rocks, you can cut trees, you can craft items and stuff with it. So the possibilities are really endless.
That's true. That's true.
May have secretly trying to get a confirmation there, but you know what? I heard some burps on the background, and that means that they're very bullish, and that is maybe because we have Mr. Brown here, and it's pretty known that Mr. Brown is very familiar with NFTs, and that's nice because we have some NFT questions now, and the first one is from AshBTC, and this is a very popular one, usually like on top of the list. When reveal of attribute Z on Genesis NFTs?
And here I thought, okay, so the Vikings want to utilize my NFT knowledge or my network within NFTs to just have some random NFT questions, but it's specifically wanting a leak, basically, right? Wanting us to see or share what the Genesis trait, the last and final trait to be revealed, would be. And I do understand where the question is coming from because we've teased it a long time. And let's just say, remind me at the end of this AMA to answer that question.
Oh, I love to hear that. And I will certainly remind you at the end of the AMA. And if I forget, then I'm sure that the whole Twitch chat is going to remind us as well.
All right.
Awesome. All right. And Morty is asking, I remember Floki Mango was mentioned a long time ago. If you have all the Genesis NFTs, maybe there is some more info about this?
Yes, there is. Well, not more, just the same. The plans for Floki Mandu buff is still, still very much in play or in development. But as you can imagine, these type of buffs, these type of end game, or all, these type of polish, let's say, will come forward when we are eventually right before or on mainnet already, because it doesn't make a lot of sense for us with our team to develop these. Because I don't want to insult anybody, right? But because I understand that you're looking forward to it, but it's a bonus, right? It's a bonus. It's not something that's part of the core gameplay, the core mechanics, and even play to earn is higher on our schedule or on our agenda or a priority list. But rest assured, Floki Mandu will be coming, and when it comes, you'll be happy, probably to be one of the few that is able to get that buff, because you do need to have collected quite a bunch of stuff to get that, if you all remember. So I'm not here to refresh your memory. Go dive into what we've already shared about it, but nothing has changed.
Got it. And Nazz is asking, when will the community know all of the use cases? So not only trait C, but there are a lot of more traits and attributes. When will we know all these use cases?
Oh man. Okay, so I can refuel one.
Oh,
So for the turkey, because first of all, we're going to that might be news. I don't know if if B or Saber or Lintern has already shared that, so it might be a leak, but it's not really a leak. So we are going to distribute the funds that we've gotten through the Turkey NFT campaign very soon. We've already picked the the recipients of it, and well, it sounds kind of shady when I say recipients. It's just the Binance charity, basically, through which we're going to do the majority, and we're also going to help two of our fellow team members who have been directly impacted by the stuff that has been happening in Turkey. So first of all, everybody that contributed to that campaign, my heartfelt gratitude. It's um, it's not often that you can create something, and that's also by proxy from our team. It's not often that you can create something that is intended to do good, to help people, and that other people buy that to help people, basically. So yeah, again, my gratitude to everybody, every single one of you that contributed to that campaign, and we're going to make sure that the funds that came through the campaign will end up in Turkey at the people that need it most. Now back onto the NFT. So we had a fun idea, as in we thought, Turkish people are proud, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what signals pride of a countryman more than a flag? And what if in Valhalla you could actually show off your country, or whatever country you're from, or whatever country you would want to represent, on your clothing or your shield or somewhere else, right? So that's the idea we have for Turkey, the Turkey NFT. If you burn it, or at least utilize it within the game, we'll give you something, and it might be on your clothing or it might be on your shield, to signify your country of origin, or the country you want to support, or whatever, on your NFT, on your character.
Wow, that is really awesome. And I know actually from playing Fortnite, not that I want to talk about other games too much, but I know that that was so popular when they introduced kind of like country skins, to call it like that. And everyone was proud to represent their country in the form of a form of a logo or a patch on the clothing, or just a whole outfit. It was a massive success.
Exactly, and it's no big companies like Fortnite, sure, discuss them, because to be honest, we're not alone in this space, and we do need to look up and look at the competition, or even not competition if they are in a different vertical of gaming. We look, we watch, and we take what we can take to make our game better as well. So a good example indeed. They did it well. But again, we don't know exactly how we're going to do it. Perhaps on the shield, perhaps on the clothes. The clothes is the most prominent and easiest thing to apply, I think. And yeah, I saw Lintern say, "Hey, reserve one for the global citizens. Don't worry, you'll be able to scream in perhaps with a Floki patch if you have the Turkey NFT." So next to countries, we will perhaps also introduce some fan favorites, so to speak.
Awesome. And AshBTC has a question, because now we went to all the NFT questions. He's asking, what level does a player need to reach on testnet in order to get rewarded on the mainnet?
I would say there's no real threshold. We're going to look at um, activity over time, basically. But you could just rest assured that the more I'm not going to give you the specific thresholds, because then it's easy to game. And of course, the Vikings right now, probably they won't game the system because they're just having fun. But once we gain traction, once other people come in, they're going to look for this information and trying to Sybil attack these rewards, right? So just level up to a specific level, and then onto the next. So just keep in mind that the more active you are, you will the better your rewards will be. but I cannot give you specific thresholds for two reasons. Again, that we don't want people to game the system in the future before we transition to mainnet, and obviously because it's also a dynamic thing. We look at feedback, we look at people playing, we look at how they contribute, they share on social media, etc., etc. So we take all of that into account.
Awesome. Yeah, great question and also a great answer. The next question, or rather two questions, are from Art. The first one is, how will the daily gameplay of a Valhalla mainnet player feel and look like?
There will be no limit. There will be an XP, like as you have experienced right now, I think already with the Vera. They will level up quickly in the beginning on a daily basis. They get bonus XP, and then at a certain point the bonus runs out. So you can still level, but it will be harder. And that is not because we don't want people to play a lot. That is because we do want to keep a bit of a balance between bots and actual people playing, right? So you can keep up with each other. So there will be no limit, but there will be diminishing returns if you do inhuman like. And yeah, obviously Vikings do some inhuman like gaming, but if you game inhuman like on an inhuman level for a long time, then you will get diminishing returns basically. So that's in regard to the limit. So let me say how I envision if I play Valhalla, what I would do, right? And what we have right now. So I log in, I go hang out with my clan on the clan island, and then when I've checked out whatever is going on with the clan, checked out whatever perhaps missions we have as a clan or whatever, or objectives. Art, I see what you did here. You want to lure me into leaking, but I'll try to do this without leaking too much. So then you go on to one of the islands, or perhaps the main island of the open world, and you you just fulfill your daily quests. You go on, you check certain areas for specific Vera, or perhaps you need to collect some rabbit feet or whatever, or you go mine some stuff, farm some stuff to make sure that you have the necessary supplies to embark on, I don't know, perhaps another quest. You walk around the world, you see other people doing their stuff, you see people walking around with the Vera, perhaps playing around or just jumping, or just fighting perhaps a world boss. I don't know. Well, once you've done all that on the open world, the main let's say the main world, you go back to your clan island, you discuss with your team, with your clan, what you've done today, and you bring or stash your supplies in the area that's needed, and perhaps you'll tell your clan leader like, hey, I guess we've got enough supplies right now to upgrade the clan longhouse, and then, well, who knows, she or he decides together with you and perhaps some other prominent clansmen to upgrade your longhouse. And voila, the upgraded longhouse made sure there's another island. You now have a longhouse that actually can store enough supplies for you to reach an island that wasn't reachable before. And then you go save up for supplies to get to that island, and who knows what you'll find there. So a lot of stuff.
That was so much alpha in one answer. No, the Vikings cannot complain whatsoever anymore today, because that was really nice. But the things that you just shared.
I know that I've been heads down developing, so I know that there have not been a lot of leaks. So I intend to make up for it a little bit today. So here you go.
All right, let's go to Art's second question. Single player versus multiple players. Will being a single player or clan player have an advantage or disadvantage? If so, I would ideally hope there is not too much of a difference or advantage. My ideal game environment is an equal to equal ground.
All right, so he asked a question, and he also told me what his preferred answer would be.
Yep.
So yeah, no. Look, I agree. I would also want people to enjoy both ways, but I cannot. It wouldn't be taking out everything out of the Valhalla experience without being in a clan. So okay, yes, you can as a single player, you can still have fun, but if you want to have the actual Valhalla experience and to be real, I don't know any story about the lone Viking. I only know about Vikings that raided together, right? So if you really want the full Valhalla experience, a clan is recommended heavily.
Makes
That's my
sense.
answer.
Yep, makes sense. And the next question is from the seventh Hawk Age. He's asking, is it possible to partner with Sony for PlayStation 5? Playing Valhalla offline too can be a nice idea.
Wow, that's a good one. So yeah, obviously we could partner, right? But to answer the question about online Valhalla play or offline, sorry, um we'd lose the decentralized or at least the blockchain aspect then, right? Because how will you capture Vera or battle other people with Vera if it's offline? That's what I wonder. But perhaps the seventh Hokage or Hokage, I think it's a Naruto thing, right? Is perhaps he's a big brain or she, and she feels like that there can be offline games that utilize these Vera. 100%. That's definitely the case. There can be mini games or even, let's say, a Super Mario Kart, but then a Vera card or a Valhalla card that utilizes the Veras or the character NFTs you've generated through Valhalla and put them in those games. And that can be offline, definitely. And that's the big brain thing here to do. If I were a game developer and I saw this community and everybody that's psyched about this, I would be developing that kind of stuff. I also envision myself or our team doing that eventually, but the more the merrier. In terms of Hala being played offline, um, well, perhaps a little, well, not leak, but an idea, a brain fart Jackie and myself had, was perhaps take the arena out of the game, or not out of the game, but make it a standalone experience and let people just like League of Legends TFT. Um, do the battle arena that way so that people can just play the battle arena and versus each other on an offline basis or not or versus AI because that's offline uh, on mobile or whatever. So these are ideas that are floating around, but yeah, I'm digressing. So I guess you get my answer, right?
Yeah, 100%. I was actually imagining a Scarlet in a Mario Kart driving on the course. That is really funny, but
And throwing mini scarrets behind to yeah to blow up enemy cars.
exactly. Yeah, I can see that going viral, to be honest. I have people heard say that Battle Arena is actually so fun in itself that maybe with a couple of extra Veras, it could be a game itself.
I think so. I think so as well. And that's the beauty of what we're creating right now. Because I also think that the open world itself, let's say the metaverse part, is beautiful because that's also what we set out to do, right? Valhalla, the metaverse, Viking metaverse for Floki. But the game in itself we've created, the Vera battles in itself, the strategic elements, if we could just focus on that, oh, that would be amazing as well. But again, we have a bigger scope, we have bigger things to fry, bigger fish to fry. So who knows in the future, right? But right now we're focusing on giving you all the metaverse.
Yep, 100%. The next question from Viking Mango. He is part of the Kjokken Masken Guild. It's always a challenge to even
Oh,
pronounce
is
it.
that how you? Yeah, is that how you pronounce it? The
No,
Kjokken Masking Grill.
probably not.
Okay, nice.
But he is asking, will Valhalla have different zones like a wilderness area where PvP is allowed or a general area where you cannot PvP? And will there be quests to advance personal levels or skills?
Right now, we want to keep Valhalla non-violent versus other players, even in specific. on the whole island. But we did play around with the thought of having PvP as a indeed that you can also that my character can attack another Will's character, for instance. But right now we're keeping Valhalla, just the Veras fight, because guys and girls, let's be honest, you went to Valhalla. Do you really want to die again? Right? I mean, do you really? I mean, but yeah, so that's the reason why we just keep Valhalla non-violent for now. But in the future, we might.
Nice. Earlier, you were taking us into a potential day in the life of someone playing Valhalla on mainnet, doing a quest, for example. Well, the next question is from White Django and ties in with Black here. Here's a question as well. He's asking, will there be seasons with specific items to grind for in Valhalla, like in Fortnite? And the reason why it made sense to me that because you were talking about quests in Fortnite, which he mentioned, you had daily tasks you could do, but you could also buy I believe they call it a battle card or something that it's a season long, and you
Battle
can
Pass.
battle pass indeed, and you can do all these quests and stuff, and you can win discontinued items, or you can earn them rather, and they might be worth something later as they are discontinued. And the longer the game exists and the more popular the game is, maybe the more rarer they become or more valuable. Will we see
All right.
something like that in Valhalla?
Yes, and sooner than you think, because for the Easter event, there will be a limited item / Vera. Oh, I'm saying too much. But yeah, the Easter event will introduce this already.
Do you think it is better to have discontinued items like these you can earn in seasonal events, to have them non-tradable or tradable?
I think they should be tradable. I think everything that you own like in Web3 is yours to do with as you like. If you want to throw it around, trade it, it's up to you, basically. And I think a big part of this might not even be the discontinued part. It might be the limited time slots it will ever be available in aspect of it. Because discontinued means, oh, it's never going to be produced again. Okay, you've got your scarcity, which, well, right? That's a dream for people that want to make money. But if you take it to a less extreme extent, and you've got, let's say, an item that's only available between 11:50 and 12 before midnight every day, and you only have a 1% thing, 1% chance of mining or grinding or looting it. Yeah, that's also crazy. A crazy twist to it, because I don't think discontinued. I don't think discontinuing things is beneficial for the long term of the game, because you've put work ideas into this specific asset, and you just cut it off, basically, as in, like, we can never use this again. And then what a lot of people do. Okay, so let me rephrase. I don't think it's a good idea to discontinue something unique in mechanic wise or Vera wise or item wise, but I do think that unique skins, or, like, let's say, different looks, unique looks, yeah, they can be discontinued. And perhaps that's what you were alluding to as well, not a Will. So
Yeah. No, I tend to agree with what you just said. The next question, and DocFlokiwood, he's just a master in asking something, and it sounds very innocent, but it's asking for a major leak, actually. He's asking, so, Mr. Brownville, how are the ideas for the farming and housing system coming along?
They're coming along nicely. Yeah, so okay, so we've got a few different approaches, right? And I'm just going to put it out there as a discussion point. Obviously, we're way ahead of that discussion within the team, but well, it's always good to have a discussion, right? It's also always good to have some speculation and even have people share their ideas. And who knows, perhaps there's an idea we can apply, right? So right now, because every other cash grabbing project has has sold land, right? And I always said like, yeah, we're not going to sell land. We might perhaps do something in our own unique way, but we're not going to sell plots of land where you can just because to be honest, again, why would I? Okay, I don't. I need to make sure that I don't sound like a hypocrite because I did buy some NFTs that are related to land, right? But why would I have real estate in a metaverse? Who would visit? Okay, perhaps me because I'm Mr. Brownwill, right? But who would visit random Viking XYZ's plot within Valhalla?
Yeah, it has
I
to make
mean,
sense.
it has to make sense, right? It has to make from a gaming perspective, it should make sense that you're going to visit his specific plot because I don't know, perhaps he sells specific items or has grown specific items on his land, but that you cannot find at other places, or um, but not because he just lives there that you're going to look like, hey, just like let's say Decentraland or something, right? You walk or you go into Decentraland and it's such a big place. Why would you go to specific place A or B? Perhaps the only reason I can imagine is there's somewhere someone you know, or there's a famous person which you can feel close to, or an event is happening there. So those are the only reasons that I would say, okay, you need land. Um, and if we can um, implement that in a sensible way that makes that that is fun and actually functionally viable instead of just being a cash grab, because that's what I see them as, then we will do it. Right now, what we've chosen for, and that is something you've already heard from me, is the Clan Islands. And I think the Clan Islands are a good functional way of people or clans owning an island or a piece of land where they can hang out together, because that's something you would hang out at, because that's your clan, right? You're going to want to have a nice clan island, and you will perhaps even visit rival clans islands instead of not a Will's plot. You'll go to his clan because there are a lot of people, and perhaps their clan has specific items, or you want to trade with them as a group. So I think on a group level, on a clan level, it makes way more sense than on a specific solo level. But and here's the leak. But I think we found a way to make living on clan islands also feel like your own home as a player. So you'll be able to, well, yeah, okay. So you won't be able to yet. We're working on it, but hopefully at some point in the future you will be able to create your own home within your clan island, and if you move clans, you'll be able to move your house with you.
Wow, that was very interesting what you said at the end there. If I repeat correctly, you said, I think that we found a way that living on your clan islands can have the same feeling as living in your house. Is that correct?
Yep.
Nice. Very nice one. And you're right. Earlier you were saying that it should make sense. And I guess unless Snoop Dogg has bought some land and made a house in Valhalla, probably would not visit their houses. So that makes sense. The next question is from Trust. He's asking, will there be random weather changes in the game? If Vikings have crops near a river, heavy rains will make the river flood and destroy the crops nearby. More water, more crops, but more risk. Or just any random seasonal climate event.
That's a really specific example, but yes, we did. We are experimenting with day-night cycles and even specific. Well, I think everybody in the bonfire event saw that the clouds had a specific other color than the current one. So we will experiment with events on a global level, and that can include also weather changes. Yes.
He's also asking, Vikings were traders as well as raiders. Will we be able to craft and trade our own customized items between Vikings and guilds? Let's say that you have cut a tree and then you have crafted it into a bow or a bow and arrow. Would you be able to trade that bow, or would you be able to sell it to B shop, or are there certain items that is just you're not able to trade it?
Okay, so this is really interesting. So we're talking about just general. I'll cut out the custom item part, yeah?
All right.
So trading, yes, trading, you will be able to trade with one, B shop, and also with other people and other clans. Jackie and myself, we've also experimented with currency for clans. So you as a clan have your own currency that can, but this is, yeah, I'm now sharing stuff that's not final yet. So okay. So I'm going to share that on the premise that this can change and we can also scrap this because it's pretty complicated. So what we thought about was, what if you as a clan have your own currency that gets debased or gets valued or inflated or deflated on the on the reputation you as a clan or the feats you as a clan do. So if your clan is successful, people will want your stock, basically, right? They will want your token of your clan, because if they trade the token of your clan, it's worth more. They want your clan tokens because they're worth more, basically. And you as a powerful clan then can buy, let's say, crops from a weaker clan that wants your currency because you're a really reputable one, and your currency is very stable, very important in the world, blah blah blah. Perhaps you can use it in specific events because you won a specific world event. So we as the DAO have decided, okay, you can use Kyokenmaskins coin for access to that specific event. So people will want that coin. So then your coin will be worth more. So long story short, once Jackie and myself start brainstorming, we come up with the wildest ideas, and this was basically some type of stock exchange with with guild tokens. But to answer the question in a quick manner, yes, you will be able to trade whatever you craft or find, basically.
The next question is from Floki. I know that Jackie is not here, but you might be able to answer this one. Floki asked, if I remember correctly, the last info shared said there are currently more than 60 contracts live in the testnet. How many contracts do you anticipate there will be once the full game is out?
Ooh, that's a hard question. But yeah, you're right. Jackie's not here. I can tell you that it will be. We still have a lot to deploy. Let's say that. But yeah, just keep it at 70 plus. I'm pretty sure we're going to have way more than that. But let's say just 70 plus to be safe. Yeah.
Archie is saying, as Valhalla mainnet release is planned for phase 4 of our current roadmap, many perceive it as coming out in Q4 this year. Many also expect play-to-earn mechanics to come live in this time as well. So the question is, isn't it a bit too optimistic to expect Valhalla to be launched in Q4?
It's ambitious, for sure. I don't think it's too optimistic. Look, it also depends on the scope, right? About what are we going to release. And at some point, you want... So, okay, the balance, the tightrope we're balancing on right now is, okay, we want to go to mainnet when the game is as polished and finished with the mechanics as we want, but we also want to go to mainnet as soon as possible because everybody's waiting for that, right? Everybody's still now on testnet testing, but the true value building will happen on mainnet. So it's a tightrope we're balancing on, and yes, obviously, having to deliver mainnet in Q4 this year for Valhalla will mean that we need to compromise on our vision and what we envision for the game. That goes without saying. We will not be able to do everything we want before the end of the year. That's undoable. I mean, with our team, I'm already really excited that what we're going to accomplish before the end of year, that we're going to do just that, right? Um, but it also opens up the opportunity for other game developers to come in to add their own piece to the legacy of, and we can then say like, okay, so this is the discussion I have regularly within my team, and I'm going to take you with me in that discussion. So almost every month, there's one specific thing, be it art, be it development, be it game design, be it sound, that they take me to their room and they say like, hey, look, this is what we have, but we're not content with this. We're like, we don't want to ship this. And I'll say like, hey, okay, I understand. It can be 10 times better. But at this point, it's good enough to ship. Because at some point, we need to ship. We need to let people see what we've built. Else, we can just finalize and polish for months and months and months without there being an actual product. And that's also what we envisioned for Valhalla and why we said, okay, Q4 this year. We're going to ship a product. And yes, obviously, it can be. I already know that because we've already scrapped like 90% of what we've done up till now. I'm I'm for sure I know that when we're going to ship, I'm not going to be content with what we ship, right? Because I know there's a lot of other stuff I wanted in. But it is, you need in business, you need deadlines, and at the end of the day, we're not volunteers. We're creating a game that hopefully will take people out of, well, that's my dream, out of poverty, or if that's not the case, at least have people make fun while they earn value out of whatever they do. At some point you need to ship, and well, that's literally Viking ship. No, but at some point we need to ship it, and it's optimistic, yes, but it also means that we just need to compromise on some stuff, because even though I'm a core team member, core contributor to the team, in regards to Valhalla, we yeah, I give my input and advice to the rest, but they need to decide like when, of course, because I cannot decide it because I'm also leading the team on this. If that makes sense.
Archie had also a follow-up question, and maybe it's a bit hard to answer this one and maybe a bit dangerous, but how would you imagine mainnet launch to look like in terms of features, networks, additional details?
So right now, with these events and what we're doing, we're teasing you with a little taste, right, of a little sip of what we're going to try and accomplish. And the mainnet eventually will be your first full glass. And obviously, a full glass does not equal a bottle or even a whole wine cellar full of meat. You know what I mean? But yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I can give a good analogy,
Yeah,
basically. So
makes sense. Is the glass is alcohol free or is with alcohol?
that's for you to no, it's going to be it's going to be child friendly. We try to make it as child friendly as we can, so let's keep it alcohol free for now. But if you want to enjoy some well, let's just say Easter also has something for the people that like to be intoxicated.
Oh, okay, nice. Well, there's something for everyone. Let's go to the next question from Trust. And he's asking, will clans work together or complete tasks for a reward in-game, but trust will be needed? So, as at any point in the quest, the other clan member can kind of stab you in the back to take the reward for himself instead of splitting. I know that last AMA, by the way, Mr. Bramwell, I think that you mentioned something, or Jackie, about trust or loyalty, that others can see how long you have stayed in a clan, for example. Is there maybe some loyalty badge or points that can be earned for quests and help and stuff as well?
Well, yeah, no comment, to be honest, because I think it's a really good question.
It is, yeah. All right, all right. Next question, and before we go to some Twitch questions, if there is time left, the last question is from Art. How will the evolution of the battle arena be? An example is having a battle arena with lava or water. Make the arena more spicy and dangerous, something that can distract or possibly be lethal to either gamer. Or maybe we can see that in a game mode.
Yeah. So indeed, there will be. We're working on dynamic arenas. So that means indeed obstacles, perhaps even bigger arenas or smaller arenas, and indeed also um, um, yeah, things that can hurt your Vera and cannot hurt your Vera, or perhaps buff your Vera, or make it that the Vera cannot pass to a specific part or is slower or whatever. One thing to keep in mind though, that these things, even though I'm saying, hey, we're going to do it, and we're already doing it, it's incredibly hard. It's incredibly hard because in a normal game, you just have to rely on the server and just add some numbers and oh, this block does this and this, but we also need to put it on the blockchain. The blockchain needs to keep track of every dynamic thing that's happening, and your Vera's health and the other Vera's health and who's impacted, etc., etc. So shout out to Jackie and the rest of the dev team that's working on the blockchain implementation of these things, because we only look at the fun, but they get into the trenches and do the dirty work. So yeah.
Let's go to some Twitch questions. And I saw the first one from the Iron Tiger 22. Will you be able to earn or craft Nordic Viking relics like a Falknut? A what? A Falknut? To help you in battle. No idea what a Falknut is. My fantasy isn't helping us at the moment.
Did he slay a Valkyrie or something? No, just kidding. Yeah, so you will be able to. We will like okay. This is a good stepping stone to some to a message I received from somebody, and he said, "Why are you using Valhalla? Would you appreciate someone else making a game that's called Heaven, or well, let's say different, like different religions have their own like type of heaven, right? Um, and I respect that. You know what? Because I understand where that feeling's coming from. Like, let's say somebody truly believes in this, in the Nordic religion and Valhalla, and it might be that people can see that we're mis uh, misrepresenting what they stand for, and that's why I always say, and that's also what we try to do with Valhalla is, okay, we try to um, take inspiration out of the Nordic myths and legends, but we will also try to make it clear that it's just fiction, as in, yeah, I don't know if that makes sense, but because we need to stay respectful in that manner. So if you're talking about Nordic, will you find Nordic runes, etc., etc.? Yes, we'll try to implement most of those things, and also stay true on. We also have a specialist that reads Nordic stuff and looks for deeper layers of meaning and stuff. But we'll try and um, be as respectful towards the people that actually, well, practice that religion as possible, and that also means that sometimes we stay away from specific stuff, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Next question is from Cobra. Are there plans to migrate to Sepolia or another network as Gurley is being deprecated
Yeah, I know what it
and
is.
players are now having trouble playing Valhalla?
So we are actively looking at solutions. Right now, it's kind of a hassle to migrate, because if we migrate right now, it means that everybody's progress is gone, and it's not gone because it's always on the blockchain, so we can always l- trace it back. But I do feel that a lot of people have put a lot of effort in their current Vera, and I don't want to go. I don't want to take it that lightly. Even though this is testnet, even though everybody that's playing on testnet should be aware that it can be, well, removed at all times. I don't want to take the effort lightly, and that's why if we are going to migrate, it will be we will do that whenever we have a new major deployment of contracts that needs to be done anyway. So we're not going to do it just because. I do want to stress that if it becomes unplayable on the current Gurley optimism testnet, then yeah, obviously that's going to impact our plans, and we might do it sooner than expected. But right now, yeah, I'm trying to see if we can, yeah, still play on here until we have a major new deployment, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah. Fair enough. The next question is from Archie. Event brain teasers were real fun part of Valhalla. May we expect similar riddles coming from mainnet quests or event exclusives?
And what brain teasers does he mean? Like,
I think he was referring to our latest bonfire event with those type of brain teasers, riddles.
Yeah, yeah. So we're definitely going to try and implement those in the main world as well. Oh, the brain. Oh, so they mean the riddles. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's definitely something fun. We think we can implement in the game as well. Yeah. See one question I want to answer right now, basically, and then you can move on. I see Floki Archie asking an interesting question. There's at least 10 very prominent metaverses being built / developed at the moment. What do you believe is or will be the best selling point for Valhalla? Basically, what I think, because I also know a lot of these competitors and I appreciate them. I also look at what they do, and we take the things we can take, like I said before, and apply them if they can be applied. But I think the main point they're missing, and there are a lot of unique selling points for Valhalla. I think a lot. I'm not even talking about the external factors like the marketing we will have, and you as Vikings that will rate the crap out of everything. A lot of these metaverses don't utilize the blockchain like we utilize it. They only use it as a gimmick, perhaps to they read stuff from an NFT and then implement it in the game. But there is no, I haven't seen a game that utilizes on-chain battles like we do. So the extent that to where we utilize the blockchain is going miles further than anything I've seen up till now. So I think that's one of the main things that that Valhalla offers. Because at the end of the day, a metaverse or a gamified project can say, "Hey, we're on the blockchain," but if everything they do on the everything that you do within the game is centralized on a server, how much is the blockchain actually worth? If, for instance, I know Archie also attended that one, a huge competitor, which I also admire. I appreciate what they're doing. They started they did a metaverse. They started a testing. I don't know how to call it, but people could enter the game, and they had a lot of concurrent players in there, and that's not something we can accomplish in web, right? They use the streaming mechanism, and that's basically what they do. What they do is they play the game on their server, and they just stream you the result. So basically, what you're doing in browser is just you're seeing. It's like watching a movie that you can play yourself because it's not running on your device. It's running on their device, and they're streaming through the internet your input and everything else. And in my opinion, that's not decentralized. I think that's just well, quote, faking it, unquote. And I wouldn't even say faking it because I think their goal isn't to have a decentralized or a web-based experience. It's just their reason for doing it was just teasing. Oh, hey, look at what we're doing, and we're not doing nothing. You can see that we're still building. So they accomplished it, and well done. But that's not a decentralized game. That's not what we're building. So again, the amount of things we're doing on chain is unprecedented.
100%. Yep.
And the
100%.
fun, of course, the fun aspect. I think how we accomplished this being so fun. I don't think a lot of other a lot of projects can they can mimic, but they can't copy basically, or they can copy, but they cannot get the result we have. But yeah,
No,
go ahead.
100%. All right. The next one from Ron. With Ron, it's always something extreme. Will there be an option to turn on blood in Valhalla when raiding? I know that it might be a bit sensitive with China, right?
Yeah. So we will obviously do something like that. Um, that will be just a toggle indeed. Like hey, and the Chinese version will definitely not have that toggle anyways. So yes, 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 yes. There will be blood eventually.
I know that Ron is excited about that. I don't know what it is with Ron and blood, fire, destruction. He loves it. Right, let's go to the last one because after this question, and I want to respect Mr. Brownville his time as well, we have also something very exciting for everyone who is still here. What is his name? The Nordic Viking Elmo. He's asking, wait for the game to arrive as a phone version or buy a cheap computer somewhere? I guess
I would
maybe he's
say if
asking,
you
how long should I wait?
yeah, so I would if you want to take full advantage of Valhalla, I would say just buy a cheap laptop. Not not technical advice, but buy a laptop, buy a device on which you can play. Mobile will come later, but I don't think it will be the highest priority at mainnet launch. So if you want to play it as soon as possible, I would say go with the desktop or laptop. Cheap or not cheap, that's up to you. But yeah, buy a bigger device than a phone. I would say, yeah.
Makes sense. Yep. Thanks for that. And that was already the last question of today's AMA. Thank you, everyone, for submitting your questions. And of course, thank you, Mr. Brown, for answering these questions. I know your days are very busy, so we appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you, Not a Will, for hosting this. I think I speak for the entire team that well, the Twitch streams and the active testers, they inspire us every day to work even harder and to deliver something special for all of you. So keep on doing that. I'm pretty sure that if you spread the word around, if you just shout enough at the people on Twitter and YouTube and whatnot about Valhalla, it will be a self fulfilling prophecy, a prophecy of success, a prophecy that we will all be able to look back on and see and say, like, hey, that's something fun. So thank you all. God bless, and I hope Not Will is going to spoil you with some teasers I dropped in his Telegram.
Yep. Thank you so much, Mr. Brown.